Hello, it's Andrew here at Life on Pig Grow and welcome to another film. And today, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Every time you subscribe, you take us a step closer to unlocking that ad revenue and we can plough that back into the channel. Today, we're going to have a little tour of the garden. So we're going to start out back and I'm going to show you the wall that I rebuilt. So I rebuilt that section there, and as we go over, you can see the wall starts to change colour, and is our green man in the wall. And as we turn around, this is going to be eventually our kind of courtyard garden. At the moment it's a bit of a dumping ground, but there's the steps in, so I'm quite chuffed with that. And if we go over here, we have to re-level this section here, but everything's there already. So there's the stone, and there's a plane passing over, which is always the way when you're filming. Window that we've got to block in. And now we're going to go up the steps. One thing people often say is we don't have the room. Now, I've gardened everywhere, in every conceivable place, from landlord flats and houses to really small gardens in the suburbs to small gardens and windowsills in cities. And you know what has always given me pleasure, and I'm going to show you now. And that is growing in pots. And this, oh God, it's lovely. It is. This is a creeping rosemary. So it'll just creep over the edge of the pot like it is there. Can you just see here? Look at that, it's starting to creep, isn't that cute? And I can grow that if I want to outside on the wall here. Or I can put it on a kitchen windowsill, as long as it's getting some feed, as long as it's getting some light. But you know, you can go even bigger then. Oh my God, there's another rosemary, which is an upright rosemary. And that's even a heavy pot, and I should have lifted that. And that again, I can transfer indoors over winter. But if you look behind me, you'll see other pots. So there you are, these are all pots. And I've got pots behind me here as well. And some have got hostas in, some have got thyme in, some have got tarragon in there, some more rosemary because we like rosemary. And you know, it's worth having a go. And the pots don't have to be fancy. I remember kind of the first plants I ever grew were in cut down milk bottles, the plastic 4-litre ones. And even in the 1 pint ones, and I started growing plants in there, and I grew lettuce in there, and I then moved on to herbs. So you know, it's not about producing masses of food, and I think people get confused with that and think they have to be like the Waltons or like some amazing homesteader where I produce all my food and I'm completely and utterly self-sufficient. No, this is about mental health. And someone using the toilets, the water's running at the moment. So it's about mental health and enjoying just growing for the joy of growing and seeing something come to life, something being harvested, and you knowing that you had a hand in that. And into the cottage garden. And as you can see there, my kale's been netted after it got eaten by bunnies. But as we're going around, you can start to see that things are dying back because it's the autumn garden. It's a lovely colour. I love blueberries. Look at the colour on that. But if you go over here, they're all dying back. All the perennials. Even, here we are, the black currants are going as well. And look at this. So I mean, just beautiful shock of colour from the blueberries. And there's the digitalis setting seed, and there's the bane of my life, Rosemary willow herb. Yang that out afterwards. Cosmos still fighting, but peas dead. But even there, setting seed. As we go over here, I'm gonna have to do something about this next year. The rhubarb keeps dying back really early, so I'm gonna have to plant something that takes over. I'm thinking about putting a path right through, making it easier to harvest the pears over the back without me killing myself or Carol killing herself. Let's see if we come up here. There's our buddleia bush. I think it's in the wrong place, so I'm going to move it again, putting it over there. And if you can see over here, I don't know if you can see, we've got hops. We've actually got hops this year. And now we're going to just pop through to the potager. And what about in the cottage garden? What did we grow? Well, my friend the buddleia, which we saw earlier. But we've also got a tree that we can't remember what it is. I've got a sneaking suspicion it's a green gage or a quince. There it is. We've got a Victoria plum down here. We've got numerous pears from William de Creton to Conference pear. They're done really well. But we leave little pockets. And the little pockets are great because it means you can grow other things. So down here we grew garlic at the end of last year, and we've replaced that with kale. So over winter I'm going to move a lot of the plants that I've self-seeded, move them to where I want, and then make more pockets for next year. And what am I planting here next year? Lettuce. I've decided I'm going to plant loads of lettuce here next year and see how they do. Specifically cut and come again lettuce, because it's a good place to do them. You can nip out the back door, come up the steps, grab your lettuce, go back in. Not a massive trudge up the hill. So even that about putting the veg plot right at the top of the hill, we've had to think about, well, do we want to walk all that way to get lettuce? Because it is a long walk, trust me. No, we can put some down here, we can put some herbs down here, things that we would use every day. So here we are in the potager, and again we're planning to make changes here next year. The tyres are going to go elsewhere. We're not getting rid of them because they're quite handy, but I want to make it a little bit more formal, because I want this to become a flower garden, to the point where we're thinking of placing an arbour at the top, a seat. I love seats. The great thing about seats is when you're disabled, there's plenty of places to sit down, and in public there's never plenty of places to sit down. But in your garden there should be. But if we start to look around here, there's my lettuce bed, and unfortunately they're starting to go to seed. Probably will pick those in the next couple of days. If we look over here again, this is another lettuce bed and herb bed. Herbs have gone over, lettuce is left over. So I'll be clearing those beds soon. But don't underestimate perennial plants. And these are artichokes. Not the globe artichokes, but the Jerusalem artichokes that grow in the ground. And they keep going and keep going and keep going. And they do flower after a few years. But this is a crop that we'll dig out at the end of this year. And again we've got strawberries on this side, and some cosmos, and a Jerusalem artichoke making a break for it. Netting, always have netting hanging around. And that's the potager, and the chickens are behind me moaning. And we're going to move up now to the greenhouse area and skip over the chickens. In the potager we've grown marshmallow strawberries, which are absolutely fantastic. They don't travel very well, so they're great to grow. They're a great garden strawberry. We've also had all our gooseberries in pots, from Hinamaki, which tastes like a grape, through to Leveler, which is a traditional green one, which is rather big. We've grown lettuces, and those lettuces have been Little Gem, because we like Little Gem, and Remain. We've got, obviously, our jungle of Jerusalem artichokes, folks. I once went in there and I didn't come out for 3 weeks. We've also grown a mixture of dill, coriander. We tried our hands at cut and come again lettuce, which we've seen. On one of the beds we've got beetroot growing, not done so well again, I don't know why. High hedges, we need to be somewhere else. And also radish. We've got our usual abundance of fennel, and as I come through the arch here, we've got our peas. Hello peas, which are drying now for the seed. And this is blauwschokker pea, and it's got a lovely purple flower, and it tastes fantastic. And again, fennel. Why do we have so much fennel? Why do we let it go everywhere? Well, we treat it like a grass, and the great thing about it, it attracts lots of nice, useful predators like the hoverfly. The hoverfly loves this. Comes in, munch, 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 and goes off and munches other awful things, like aphids. It's about getting a balance, not reaching for those chemical sprays. We've got oregano. We've got marjoram. We've got rhubarb, folks. We've got comfrey, which you can't eat, but it's really good for making a liquid fertiliser. We've got an apple tree down here as well. I'll show you our apple tree. I grew this, yes me. There it is, I'm going down here. It's very young. I grafted that. This is me, hello little apple tree. I grafted that. It's a Bramley. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how well it does. It's on a dwarfing rooting stock, so it won't ever get really big. I couldn't skip over the chickens, they wouldn't let me. They want to be on the film. Hello girls, you okay? Yeah? So this is the greenhouse area. But for us it's also going to become the area that's going to be really about growing produce and getting plants ready. So you can see I've got lupins for next year. I've got poppies up here. So we've got several types of poppy growing up here. These are perennial poppies. Some more perennial poppies down here, over there. But this is one of our big beds. And as you can see, the peas have now definitely set seed for us. But over there, if you look over, there's cabbages. That's just a little pop in the greenhouse. You can see what's going on in the greenhouse. So the nets are still up. Can you see? I'm not going to go in because I want the tomatoes to start turning. So the tomatoes are doing really well. So I think at the weekend, weather permitting, some more will come off. I'm trying to desperately hang on. The gardener is the ever optimist, and hope that we're going to get some lovely red tomatoes, especially the big ones, which are starting to turn, and they taste really great. So what have we grown in the greenhouse? Well, in the greenhouse, we have had St. Pierre tomato, which is the big tomato, which is just down here. Can you see it just down there? There it is. That's the big one there. And Gardener's Delight. Oh, God. But, we've also had courgettes. And they've not been very good this year. They did really well in the greenhouse last year, and I raved about it. So I'm not going to name them, because I'm upset. Because they're bad courgettes. Naughty courgettes. We've also... God, that's a really nice tomato. Yeah, it's really nice. We've also taken basil from the supermarket, split it, grown it on. We have had loads of pelargonium cuttings, which we've grown on in the greenhouse. Loads of strawberries. And chilies behind, which you can see we've left to dry out now and to go on. That's what's in the greenhouse. Now, I'm just going to show you something. This is a spring plant. This is how messed up it is. And it's starting to flower now. It's a cowslip. And I'm going to take you through to where the cowslip's going to be next year. So let's move through. As you come through, this is an area that we've kind of ignored this year. But this, folks, is going to be our new veg patch. I've said that now for several years. And I'm really going to try and get on it next year. It's just, you run out of time. You just do. So, as you can see, plenty of stuff to be getting on with as we come through here. There's the old shed base where the greenhouse is going to go. Already started on the bed there. That's had potatoes in. Over here is going to be a big bed, but we've also got hazel growing. The reason we've got hazel growing there, really simple. That's going to be cut into rods later this year, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Over the back here, still going, folks. That's how big our garden is. Going up the path that I've just laid down, which is temporary. And there's the old shed. And there's our apple trees going all the way up the garden. And the idea behind this is going to be a managed lawn come meadow, in the sense that I'm not going to cut it more than once a year. So next year you're going to see me really start to sow lots of seed. Certainly marguerites, corn cockles, cornflowers, all these things are going to go into the mix to create hopefully a deluge of colour all the way up. People always ask what veg do we grow. So in the greenhouse bed we have had potatoes. Listen to that. Cock-a-doo-doo-doo. We've had potatoes, Casablanca. When Casablanca went, we replaced it with Savoy cabbage, which are in now, and should be harvested around November, December, possibly January, if the weather's good. We've also had NE Plus Ultra peas, and we've had corn cockle flowers, Cosmos Sensation, and a quick cash crop of lettuce. That's what we've done. We did try growing bulb fennel, and it failed. Again, it's a funny plant, depending on the weather. So that's what we've had here. And yes, we use nets. We don't use chemicals, by the way, folks. We have rabbits in the garden. We have birds in the garden. We have deers passing through on the back. I will not use chemicals, not in that way. Okay? So I hope you like the film. The reason we do it, I like to do these films every now and again to show you the garden in spring, summer and now autumn. I'm going to do one in winter as well, because really it's a great thing to do as a gardener. We take loads of photographs, but photographs don't talk to us, not in the way film does. So it's a nice way to kind of check in on myself, aging as I get older and older, year in, year out, and I can see what I've done in previous years, but also I can see what I did in spring, because I do take notes, but guess what, I forget, and sometimes it's nice to rewind through a film and go, that's what I said, that's what I was going to do. Like I said, for years we've been saying this is going to be the veg patch, and it is going to be the veg patch. It has to be. It's more level, it's easier to access, and we're going to end up with more vegetable beds, raised vegetable beds, and probably a couple of open ones. So until next time, it's goodbye from me, Andrew at Life and Pig Row. Don't forget, as I said, if you want to stay in touch with us, like and subscribe, and when you subscribe you get us closer to that ad revenue, and we'll take that ad revenue and put it back into the films, so we produce more content every week. Until next time, bye bye.